Welcome to this edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, 2023 got off to a great start for the Tigers as you go up to Mount St. Mary's, get a 20-7 win, at one point 18-1. So I guess for a coach, this is probably the best, toughest situation you're in, which is when do you say enough's enough, it's time to bring in some guys that don't get a lot of playing time?
Yeah, it's funny. We were watching the North Carolina Mercer game Friday night at our team dinner, and Jordan Metzbauer, whose dad is the coach of North Carolina, were watching the game, and I think it was 16-something in the first quarter, and I commented at the table, it's like, I don't even know what I'd do at halftime in that game, and, how our game played out with Mount, it was very similar, and again, it was making sure the guys are staying locked in, focused, playing our brand of lacrosse, but, definitely a neat opportunity to, be able to, put those guys in that work hard in practice every day that maybe don't get to play on game day as much, and be able to, provide them some good, valuable minutes instead of a minute or two, being able to take over kind of the back half of the fourth quarter and be able to play and compete and do what they do every day in practice, but on game day.
Do you have somebody in your ear saying, Coach, maybe it's time, or are you so locked in that you're not thinking about maybe it's time to bring some guys in and you have somebody there to prod you along?
Personally, I'm pretty locked in to just kind of looking at the game, obviously managing, that piece to it, but then one of my coordinators will come up, hey, what do you think about putting this guy in, or what do you think about this guy in, like getting a little bit deeper down the bench, talking about, getting some guys off the field as well. Again, it's a spot where we're not in often just due to the competition we face on our schedule. It was, a neat opportunity. But yeah, the communication was there, and excited to provide that for the guys.
Well, hopefully you have that problem to have again many times during the course of the season.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, let's talk about the game. Freshman Villa Gomez, he wins CAA Rookie of the Week. He 5 goals. Big kid. I know that you're excited about him. You're excited about your attack. Were you surprised by his performance?
He's been a little bit of a surprise throughout the course of the fall and into the spring, just with what we saw out of him out of high school and how much more he's shown us, since he's been here. Just more diversified that he is, how quickly he picks up things. He's a 4.0 student, got a 4.0 in the fall semester, so it's not surprising that he's got a good head for the game, but it's just definitely transcended his opportunity to be on the field to go along with his playmaking ability and to play within our offensive system. So, he was the recipient on Saturday at the Mount with some really hard work from the defensive end to the offensive end with some transition goals. But again, he's a guy that, we're definitely excited about where he is at this point, but where he can be too.
Someone you're not surprised about, Kyle Berkeley. He had a great game.
He did, and Kyle's such a presence for us, as you know, at the midfield. Big physical dodger, going to draw the other team's, best defensive midfielder, long stick midi, or defender sometimes, whoever it is. But balanced, 3-3, 3 goals, 3 assists. Created, when he needed to. One guy was getting him after him pretty good with some checks, and he made it personal and decided to just kind of drive into the guy, get a good shot off and score. And Kyle can do that, but he also can draw the attention, dish it off to the guys, and hopefully those guys take care of it and finish.
And obviously the defense played great. I mean, you only gave up 1 goal in the entire first half. Talk about your goalie and your close defense on Saturday.
Yeah, I was really, really happy for Evan. Stepping in there and playing very strong.
And you had a tough camp for your goalies. I mean, tough race to see who was going to get the job.
Absolutely. And Evan, came through and established himself as the starter. So I was really excited for him to get out there, play as well as he did. Our defense, I think, played pretty solid in front of them. I think they were playing off the energy of us scoring goals and being confident and flying around the field and being aggressive there. And, again, Evan stopped a couple nice transition opportunities that Mount had that could have kind of stopped the bleeding a little bit. But Evan was there to make the save and then, counterattack and then lead us into transition the other way. So it was good to see that, and then kind of those guys hold down that end as well.
For you as a coach, you are a veteran coach now, Hard to believe, but it's been a long time.
I'm young, Spiro. I'm young still.
How do you feel right before that first game starts? I mean, you've been practicing in the fall, you've been practicing all of January, but you still don't know anything because you're playing against somebody else for the first time that it means something.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind as that game gets ready to start?
What the heck is about to happen, basically? There's definitely, there's a lot of uncertainty, with kind of how our guys are going to run onto the field and play once that whistle starts. Are we going to be in attack mode but also play with poise and confidence? Are we going to allow another team's aggressiveness to kind of take us over and going to be playing on our heels? Again, we have some experience, but we also got some new guys, new goalie in the cage. So again, it's every first game is always a surprise. You hope they come out the way that they've shown in practice and in scrimmages. But again, when the game starts, it's real, and it can alter guys a little bit to start. But just starting strong, settling into the game, and playing the style and way that we know how is kind of the goal. And I think our guys got a lot of confidence early and kept pushing hard. But traveling up to Emmitsburg, a mid-afternoon game, right after the women's game, there's a small locker room, so you can only change, not even half your team at once. So it's logistically, it's a little bit of a challenge there. So again, there's a lot of factors that go into it. There's like how ready are our guys in regards to on game day? Obviously prepare all week, but it's like, are we locked in enough? Are we, pushing aside the kind of distractions and other things going on? And, are we ready to play when that whistle blows? And our guys were.
All right, now this week, you don't have to sit around till the middle of the afternoon to play. Noon at Johnny Unitas Stadium, the home opener. 14th ranked St. Joe's comes in. And when you look at the Hawks, it all starts with Zach Cole, best face-off man in the country. Last year won 14 out of 18 against you guys. What makes him so good?
He's a physical presence. He's diverse in what he can do with his hands at the X, whether it be winning the clamp or if his opponent gets an advantage to counter him. He's solid off the ground. He's solid carrying the ball and handling it. So he's just gotten more mature, more, like I said, diverse, and more confident along the way. He's built this kind of persona and reputation. So, he steps on the field against guys, and guys know that, obviously he's achieved success, and, hopefully that doesn't get into your head at all, and just know that, hey, he's got to go against us too, and be able to figure it out. But he's been a big part of their success for sure.
So you've got Matt Constantinidis and Shane Santora ready to go this week against Zach. How do you try to simulate what he's going to do?
Well, we have options. We have 4 face-off guys this year, so looking at film, seeing what he's been doing, trying to mimic that, trying to prepare for that, but also allow our guys to understand how they are successful. We don't necessarily need to change what we're doing. We just need to understand what might work the best. For our face-off and wing play, tying everything together. And really go into attack mode in that regard. We know it's going to be a challenge. He's obviously earned his reputation for a reason. He's very good, but recognize that we're pretty good too. I think Matt and Shane having the experience against him last year hopefully allows them to settle in earlier this year and have that confidence to go out there and perform.
Obviously, they're not a one-man team. You're not number 14 in the country just because of your face-off guy. What other problems does St. Joe's present for you?
I think their attack's excellent. Probably one of the best trios out there, starting with Bomer, who's really the guy that does pretty much everything for him at the attack. Physical dodger, also a really good IQ guy. They got a great off-ball finisher in Page, and then they got Levi Anderson, a lefty Canadian, which everybody seems to have these days, but Levi's probably one of the most athletic Canadians you'll see on the field. He could be a dynamic midfielder if he wanted to too, but big physical, has that Canadian touch and ability on the offensive end. So those 3 are very good. Plus they got some pretty dynamic middies up top, some guys with size, similar to us, some guys with size, some smaller, kind of bouncier guys. And then their defense, generates a lot of their offense. When they make saves or they make stops, it's a jailbreak. They're getting downfield, they're creating transition. You'll see 3 poles running the field at times. They want to get from one end to the other fast and try to get those attack guys opportunities in transition to finish the ball, or their D guys, getting shots off.
And this is, 15 years ago, you see St. Joe's on the schedule, and you think, well, this might be a game where I can get my backups in sometime, but not anymore. Number 14 in the country, this program has completely been changed around.
Yeah. Taylor Ray has done a terrific job there. He and I were teammates with the Philadelphia Wings, and it's not a surprise, just with his demeanor, his background, but his ability to coach and recruit, and he's done a great job. They've supported him really well there. Obviously St. Joe's is in a great location in the Philly area, so he can draw from different pockets. But he's done a terrific job. Much like many other programs in the country, Division I lacrosse is ultra competitive right now, and St. Joe's is just another byproduct of that. That there's so many good lacrosse players out there in the country. There's only so many Division I programs to go to. Everybody's getting good players, and it's how how your team and your program comes together year to year.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on Saturday. Tigers will be at home, high noon, Johnny Unitas Stadium. Come on out to see them take on the 14th ranked St. Joe's Hawks. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with you next week.